It's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by the British featherweight champion and obviously a keen fan of Nottingham Forest, Leigh Wood. How you doing?
All good, mate. All good, thank you.
One of the few boxers who actually joins an interview with the phone already, or the computer, whichever it is, in landscape format. And I'm very, very grateful.
Laptop, no, it's easier, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. The reason we're talking, or the biggest reason, we needed a catch up anyway, but July 31st, first week of fight camp. It was already a really good show, actually, but now has a new main event, and you're going to be challenging Kanzu for the WBA featherweight title. Just tell us, first of all, how it all came about, because it seems to have come out of left field, but I'm guessing there's been stuff going on behind the scenes for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I think they needed an opponent, Golden Boy needed an opponent for him. And I think from what I heard, they wanted me. Which is strange, but yeah, so careful what you wish for.
What do you think it was that made them single you out?
Maybe the ranking, and then they might have seen the defeat, not my last fight they've had before. I'm not sure. But yeah, so then they approached Eddie, wanted to get it on pretty quick. That was the first available show. That to, make it fit. I got about 6 weeks notice. Luckily, I was in the gym, ticking over. Ran it by Ben, showed him, watched him, broke it down, looked at my fitness, realised I had enough time, and we thought, you know what, let's go do it.
I'm guessing, obviously you're going to win and you're hoping to win and everything else, but there's not much to lose there, is there? You've got the British title. You can come again if it doesn't work out. This is your first world title shot. And they don't come along all the time, especially during a pandemic. It's all upside, it seems.
Yeah, it seems like that. A lot of people have messaged me congratulating me for the fight and blah, blah, blah. And my mindset is more of like, don't congratulate me for getting the fight, because I'm coming to win the fight. Congratulate me after the fight. I'm 100% coming to win. I'm not really looking at, I've got options after, but I'm not really looking at the options after. I want to, this is a day before my 33rd birthday. This is a great opportunity. Opportunities don't always come around, especially against this opponent. There's a lot better fighters that have got world titles. So great opportunity. They don't come around often, and I won't need another one.
You only fought in February, which may have been a career best performance. He hasn't fought by the time you get in the ring for almost 2 years. Do you think that could have some impact as well? You looked very sharp last time out.
Yeah, definitely. I think inactivity is not going to be on his side. It's not going to help him. But some fighters don't fight for a long time, and they come back in, they're all right. But maybe coming to a different country as well, inactivity. These are all the things that he's got to deal with, as well as, in my opinion, fighting someone that can whack. I don't think he's boxing anyone that can dig like me in his career either. And on the other side, I'm not boxing anyone with his kind of output and style, and he holds a good shape as well. So we've both got things we're dealing with on the night. But like you said, I'm coming off a great win, and at the time, I'd only been with Ben for 6 weeks or 6 to 7 weeks training, so it was all new, and I was not down it, but it was like, God, I'm doing all these things different, and 5 weeks different, everything's different. I had to deal with all these things and just trusting 100% that everything was going to work. And when I got in there, it felt right and it clicked. And now we're a lot more time together. And I trust Ben again with his game plan for this. He's got it right time and time again. Josh with Lee McGregor, and he's going to get it right again on July 31st. And we're going to bring world title back to Nottingham.
Now, while that world title is, of course, the main motivator, how do you feel about headlining the first fight camp show, and the first fight camp show in front of fans as well?
I'm not 100% sure if I'm headlining. I know I'll think I'll be chief of support. I think Ben's got a big following, Conor Ben, and
it's the only world title fight on the bill. Even if people say, "Oh, it's a regular title," it's still a world title, and it's the only one on the show.
That's it. Yeah, it's probably it's the biggest fight on the show. I'm not sure if I will headline though, but it's great. It's great to be out so quick. Like I said, straight after the British title fight, if I can fight 4 or 5 times a year, I would, and that's how I am. I'm in the gym all the time, so I don't need to fight 2 or 3 times in a year, especially at my age now. I've probably got another 4 years left of fighting if I want him, and I want to fight as long as I can. Hopefully it's a little bit longer because I love fighting. It's boxing's my life and it always has been. But yeah, I want to be as active as I can in my best years. I'm injury free for the first time, and I just want to capitalize and be busy. So this has come up and it's great, and it means I can possibly get more fights before the end of the year. Hopefully in world title fights after this, maybe a unification fight, all being well.
Well, victory here can really kind of jumpstart you into world level, can't it? I mean, you're British champion now. You kind of skip a couple of levels. I mean, obviously, Jazza Dickens, the fight with him was very close, and he went on to win the Golden Contract tournament. He'll fight for a world title in his next fight. So you're not far away in terms of the quality of opposition, but in terms of the belts you're fighting for, you can jump up a couple of levels with this win.
Yeah, a few people have said it's a massive jump from British title level to the world stage, ability-wise. But on the other hand, every time I box for British title, Commonwealth title defense, WBO European, them 4 fights in, it was all finished by knockout, won by knockout. So maybe that British title level is not my level because I've obviously proved I'm way above that to win by knockout in all them fights. And Dickens is, in my opinion, around world level. And I lost on a split decision. And to be honest, it's not ability-wise. That's my first southpaw I've ever boxed as a pro with a winning record, as you can imagine, like not journeyman, as I say.
Someone coming to win.
I had it all on. And I had it all on the night, learning on the job. We didn't really have a game plan. Just go out there and get the job done, do what I need to do. And I lost on a split decision, so on a majority decision. So no excuses though. Yeah, that's my level, I think, and I'm 100% confident in winning this fight, and I'm going to prove what level I'm at as well.
Now, you talked about not having a game plan in that fight. You've also said about running this fight with Kanzu by Ben Davison before you accepted it. Just what difference, if you can sum it up, has he made to your team?
A massive difference. It's not just Ben as well. So there's Ben, Barry, there's Lee Wiley. We have a guy that's employed, Lee Wiley, that's sole focus is to break down styles and game plans, and he works with video analysis and sends us things from our opponents' fights, training, and ourselves as well. When we're doing the sparring, we need to stop doing this. You need to try doing more of this. When you do this, this works. When you did this has happened as a result of that. And that's why I ended up in that situation. So this is something that a lot of teams don't have, and we're making the most of this, especially Ben working with Lee. It just clicks, and I'm so fortunate to be in such a good team and a good setup.
And with that in mind, what sort of stuff so far, without giving too much away, but what sort of stuff so far has Lee told you about Kanzu?
Well, Winnow is a volume puncher, so he throws a lot of punches. So I'll be looking to capitalize on what I do well, and I'll be trying to take away what his best attribute is as well, without giving too much away.
I mean, style-wise, you talked about Jazza Dickens being the first southpaw who kind of came to win and learning on the job. It seems on paper, obviously levels and stuff, but it seems on paper that Kanzu style-wise suits you quite nicely.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back through, it's hard to get comparisons against volume punchers and big punchers, but you can look back off the top of my head. I mean, if you look at Khan and Garcia, Khan's more volume puncher. So what happens with volume punches, when your hands are out throwing, there's nothing by the side of your head. If you're not taking your head off the line, it's a dangerous place to be.
Especially against someone who can really punch. And didn't Ben say you're the hardest pound-for-pound puncher he's ever taken on the pads?
Yeah, he did, yeah. And he put that out before my last fight. And
no pressure.
Well, it's never no pressure because I just do what I do. But I think a lot of people, because a coach has never come out and publicly said that, a lot of people thought, well, what he's doing is saying this, so Reece Mould don't pressure me, or I don't know what they thought, but maybe they thought it was part of a game plan of some kind. But every coach pretty much that's on the pads has pretty much said the same. Every person that's on the pads. Sparring partners of sparred weights above us said the same. But there's more to boxing than punching hard. You got to be smart, and you got to be, if you are a big puncher, you got to be extremely fit to let them shots go, because it takes a lot of energy to produce that power. So, but this is what we're always working on, working on my strengths down here as well, which is a great thing, because now not only can I let my hands go, but I can let my hands go more often and at the right time and know when to do that.
It must be reassuring though to have that equaliser in your arsenal, because if you're not a puncher and you're 4 or 5 rounds behind late into a fight, what do? You kind of have to give up a little bit and just survive, don't you? But you've always got that potential to end the fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's not over till it's over. I'm not over to the last bell. But I do consider myself to be quite a old school boxer as well. You know, I spent a lot of time at the England gym. I got a good schooling as an amateur. I got England vest, GB vest, spent a spell on Team GB as well. I am a good boxer. I've got a lot of skill set as well. I'm quite clever at setting my attacks up. I don't just come out and just start bombing away and letting mines go and whatever it meets me. I'm not like that. I've never been like that. So that's probably one of my biggest underrated attributes is my skill set. And with my skill set and my patience, that's why I get my knockouts that I do.
Now, I know you don't want to look too far beyond Kanzu, but should you get the victory and win that WBA title, so many opportunities will open up for you. Have you got any kind of preferences? I know Galahad and Dickens will be fighting for the IBF. Is that an interest?
I'm looking forward to that fight. I'm looking forward to that fight. I don't want to take my eyes off this fight, but you know, I'd always like a challenge. And before this fight, myself and Dave Caldwell was looking at chasing the WBA route for the Navarrete fight. I think he's another one. His feet are really bad. He's powerful himself and he's got long arms, but stylistically for me, he's there to be hit. That would make a cracking fight. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? I'm obviously being advised by MTK as well now. So that could probably be a fight that can happen. Obviously, if Dickens wins as well, but we'll see. An old British unification fight would be massive, but I can't take my eyes off this fight, July 31st, and everything I'm doing right now is fully focused on that.
You've always had great ability. No one's ever doubted that. But there was periods in your career where you weren't out often enough. Results didn't always quite go your way, even though it looked on paper like you would get the win. What's changed in the last year, 2 years that's put you where you are now?
I think, to be honest, mate, without dogging anybody out, the England gym, I love the England gym, especially when Brendan was there. It was a magical place. Management wise, I just wasn't getting the opportunities, whether it was because Barry was in the same gym or I can't even put my finger on it because if I'm not fighting, they're not making money, so I can't put my finger on it. So up until 2018, I think in 2018, I boxed on 3 small bills. I was getting promised everything. The last straw was when I was supposed to fight Ryan Walsh, the British title, in the December of 2018, and I think it was a boxing promotion on ITV. I got promised, blah blah blah. Never came off. He ended up fighting someone else. And I remember going back to the flat and I was crying. I was in tears. And I spoke to Jordan Gill, and obviously he moved and he won the Commonwealth or got the Commonwealth title shot by then. Yeah, he'd already won the Commonwealth by then. And he said, "Look, come talk to Dave." So I decided to leave the England gym. My contract, by a technicality, I was supposed to have another year, but by a technicality, because I don't think John or Dominic renewed the license, so I was out of my contract by technicality. Left the gym, went to speak to Dave, signed. That was December, January. Signed in February, won the Commonwealth title in March, and then gone on contract in the. No, that was in the March. In the May, headlined in Man City. In the October, I won the first round of the golden contract against Joyce, and then obviously February happened, lost on a split to Jazza, coronavirus, and then British title. So maybe if I'm in hindsight, I've got a lot of praise for Dave Caldwell. He, without a doubt, saved my career.
It's interesting as well because you said about maybe you didn't get the opportunities because Barry was in the same gym. Dave obviously trains Jordan Gill and manages you, and you guys are good friends. We know that anyway, but he hasn't seemingly prioritized one over the other. He's helped you both out and you're both heading in the right direction.
That's it. There's so many, especially nowadays, there's so many opportunities to go around with all the different platforms and all the different belts. But yeah, there's so much to go around. And I still can't wrap my head around what was happening at the England gym, why they won't get me out, or maybe they're just trying to get bigger payday. I don't know. It's questions that have never been answered, but it is what it is. I feel like I left just in the right time. You know, probably in other fighters at my age, they might think, oh, he's getting on a bit. I'm a young 32. You know, I'm like, I've always looked after myself. never took any drugs, don't drink often at all unless I go on holiday. Obviously, never smoked. So I look after myself. I'm quite fit, and boxing's my life, and it's been my life since I was probably 11, 12 years old. I never wanted to do anything else. So I will box for as long as I can, and I've always looked after myself. So hopefully everything's coming into place at the right time. And I've got this world title shot at the right time, and I've got enough time now to go and enjoy my boxing for the next 4 years.
Well, you must be quite fit because you're going to be able, hopefully, to make the weight at 6 weeks' notice for featherweight, which can't be easy.
I'm always in good shape. So this is another bonus. Brennan used to say that to me all the time, being in the gym all year round. Not only like are you ready for the phone call that can come at any time, but you're always developing. You're always getting better. If you look at for example, if you look at Josh Warrington when he won, like, I don't know, for example, was it the English title? If you look at his body then compared to when he's now as world champion, there's a massive difference. And that don't come overnight. That comes with consistency and camp after camp after camp. And like myself, if you look at my body, your body changes, and you can only do that by being a consistent trainer. If you're in and out of the gym, if you're in the gym for fights and you're in and out of the gym, you're not going to get that. And that's a massive advantage to have, because basically your body gets used to what it's doing all the time. So if you train all the time, you're going to be a better fighter.
You're wearing the shirt, of course. You've always gone out of your way to promote Nottingham Forest. They've done the same for you. How do they feel about this world title shot? I imagine they're delighted.
Yeah, that's it. And, we've got a new season starting very shortly. Got a few friendlies. I think there's a friendly next weekend. I'd love to be at it, but I'm trying to. It's rife at the minute, COVID, so everybody's isolated. So I'm trying to stay away. That's another sacrifice you have to make. I haven't seen my kids much in the last 6 weeks. Once, in fact, until after the fight, once in 6 weeks. But it'll be worth it. But yeah, I hope Forest have a great season. And after my fight, I'll be going to the first game, hopefully.
And you mentioned your kids there. We don't like to get too much into kind of financial aspects of boxing, but just sum up for us, if you can, what difference a win over Kanzu could make to life for you and your family?
Yeah, it's definitely life-changing. I talk about this to a lot of people. Money don't really motivate me like it does other people. Oh, this is going to change your life and this and do that, do that. Because I think without boxing, I can go and make money. I'm not an idiot. Like I can do so many different things to make money if I need to. Like property and stuff. I've got a little flat and renovated that. I can do most of the work myself. But I think it will change. It will change my life and my kids' life, because I'd probably invest it into things that is going to help them for when they're older. But like I said, it's not a big motivator, because when I first started boxing, I didn't even know boxers got paid. I didn't know boxers got paid, and I love fighting. So yeah, obviously I would never say that to the promoters, because they take advantage. But no, I mean, like what motivates me, it's more about the history, making history and leaving my name amongst all them great Nottingham fighters, which I've got over before. Frotch, top of the tree, Kirkland Lang, who passed away not long ago, the Booth brothers. There's so many. It's rich history, and I want to put my name amongst them all. And July 31st is the best way to do it, by getting a win.
Great stuff. I'm not going to ask you for all your social details, because I've done that the first time, although it's Leigh Wood on Twitter. I can tell people that.
All the platforms are the same. They'll find you if they want to find
They'll find you, exactly. And I'm sure they will want to find you as well. Really, really appreciate your time. Yeah, impartiality be damned. I really, really want you to get the job done. So fingers crossed. Don't get injured in the rest of camp. Don't get cut, and stay away from anyone who's got a slightest cough.
That's it, mate. That's it.
Good stuff. All right, mate. Well, yeah, good luck, and I'll probably catch up with you on fight week.
Thank you.